Good morning, everybody. Good morning. We'll get started. Sorry, mics acted up. Please take a seat. Just a quick reminder again, if you parked in the lot behind the building, you will be towed, so you should go move your car if you did that. There's a paved lot just right behind that you can use in a couple street spots available. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks for coming out here and being here this morning. Wanted to just tell you a little bit about 1 Million Cups. So 1 Million Cups was started by the Coffee Foundation a couple years ago. Started with just a handful of communities. And we're now up to over 115 communities every week that meet and come together as entrepreneurs. The organization 1 Million Cups was designed to educate, connect, and engage entrepreneurs with each other and with the community. So we're really grateful that you're here today with us. If you haven't downloaded the app for 1 Million Cups, we highly recommend that. It is in both app stores, so you can just go to the app store and download it. You can check in and provide feedback to the presenters if you have a chance to talk to them at the event. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and get started. We have Daniel and Juan with EchoIntelligent Solutions, and as customary, please stand up and give them a hand as they come on stage.
Good morning, everybody. How's everyone doing? Great. Man, I'm really hungry. I don't know why. First, I want to thank 1 Million Cups for giving us this opportunity. And second, I want to thank the audience, the beautiful audience that's here, that's giving us their time. My name is Daniel Paramo. Here's my brother Juan Paramo with me. And we are here to introduce EchoIntelligent Solutions. EchoIntelligent Solutions, before I go to that, have you ever had a vision? Have you ever had a thought? Have you ever had an idea? Well, we did. And our first idea was to make a prototype, to make a hand sanitizer that can fit in your wearable. Crazy? You think we are crazy? Well, we were, and we did it. We started doing it. The first thing that we did was to contact companies to create a prototype. And what happened when we did this, we got like $150 to $200 an hour just to make the prototype. It was too expensive, and then we understood that inventors don't have enough money in their pockets to start to have a prototype. And that's how EchoIntelligent Solutions came out. My brother Juan is a computer science engineer. He has worked in product development for many years, and so he knows the in and outs and the risks on making a product. I am an engineer as well. I have worked as a stress engineer for 3 years, and right now I'm more focused in business development. What we want from this presentation is so you know that EchoIntelligent Solutions, we maintain a personal relationship with our customers, with our clients. We are flexible on payments, and we are inventors eager to help inventors. Our goal, also from the presentation, is to find inventors in this audience and the guys who are looking on the Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, is to find inventors that have a vision, a thought, and an idea. Now I'm going to give the microphone to my brother. He's going to show what capabilities Echo provides.
Good morning, my name is Juan. So there are 3 major areas that we concentrate. The first one is the conceptual design. On this one, we will tell you if your baby is ugly. Basically, there are occasions that you take your invention too far along to get to know that it's not feasible for production. The whole concept behind this is that you fail fast, fail cheap, We are knowledgeable in test prototyping techniques, methods like 3D printing for plastic and metal. And also, we try to help you with the prototype that will get you the quickest to market. Okay? On the next phase is the detailed design. On this one, basically we do the design with all the hardware, with all the holes that, for the design to be assembled. In addition, the main concept behind this is that we look at functionality versus the look and feel. Sometimes, well, the majority of times in this phase is that functionality is more important than the look and feel. Because nothing can replace something in your hands that works, and you can take that to investors and get some money. At the same time, what we like to call is the design of the proof of concept, the one and only. And we made the idea that we can always improve this, and that's the continuous improvement phase. We also have prototyping methods like machining. We're looking to invest in a 3D printing machine, in a CNC router, like tabletop. And then we can also help in the production design. In this phase, basically we can act as the engineering contact with manufacturers, with contract manufacturers, let's say, here in the US or overseas. At the same time, we can do some supplier or technology scouting. Let's say, for example, you're looking for a specific tooling, you want to compare like different manufacturing methods such as molding, machining, rapid prototyping, casting, things like that. At the same time, we are getting into business and like a marketing development, and that's one thing Danny's going to talk about, like a real example of what we're doing for a customer at this moment.
All right, so our portfolio consists in 2 companies so far. We recently started the first one that you see on the bottom. It's a controller that monitors humidity, CO2, temperature, pressure for greenhouses. Now the next example for is a SnapRide. On this one we help them with business development. They are a ride-sharing company that connects riders and drivers going to the same location. This was made by UTA students, and right now we are just marketing at UTA. We help them to launch their product and look for out-of-the-box methods to reach new users. Right now, I'm proud to say that yesterday they told us that we got 700 users. We have around 15 rides per day in average, and it keeps growing and growing every day. Those are the 2 examples we have. So our core value has been commitment, quality, we are expertise, inspiration, collaboration, and creativity. Our personnel, like I said, we maintain our personal relationship with the clients, always, and we want to echo your ideas into reality.
Do you guys have any questions? Any comments? Feedback?
Yeah, it'd be great. As far as developing a prototype for inventors, are you familiar with like the drawing technicalities that you have to meet when it comes to like patents? Like the way you have to draw in order to get something patented? Is your design before or after the patent?
We can help like with the conceptual sketches, like those are usually used for patents. I mean, they don't need like the really detailed drawings. Basically, just to show the idea, the concept, so they can make the claims, generic claims for the patent. So yeah, we can help with that as well.
Awesome.
Next question?
Yeah, question. Hey, I got a question, sir. On the Snapchat app, is there a way that you take people? Is there a way that you take people that want to be part of that and kind of vet them in some manner? I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, can anybody just get on? Is there any way to like really know who's it? So, if you know. I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it. Let's say that you're a female and you hit this ride and you've got some crazy murderer guy on there. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Is there a way
I
that
understand.
people actually have to kind of join and prove who they are or something to get into the system before they can start sharing rides with each other?
Thank you for your question. We have thought about that. Right now we're working on with lawyers as well to see if we can make it when women want to get a ride, they can choose only women drivers. Vice versa, if you want to bet, if we want to start betting the drivers and the riders, that will have to be through, there is companies that do that. We just need to start doing it. Right now, because we market only at UTA, our users are only UTA people.
So it's just students.
Just students right now.
So that kind of vets the
That kind of bets.
people because they're watching the small.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody might want to take me. You don't have to be a woman. I want to take me in high
All right.
things. That's interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, so you gave two examples that seem kind of more like systems integrated, like with the temperature, regulation, and then the ride sharing. And then so earlier in the presentation, on looking at 3D printing, prototyping different stuff. What are your guys' specific area of expertise? And maybe, though you don't have those clients, talk about maybe like your past jobs, because I feel like, at the very end you said expertise, but I don't really know what your expertise is yet.
Okay. Well, basically, I have dedicated almost 10 years in product development, but that's very generic. I mean, you have mechanical design, you have computer, programming, and some electrical as well. Everything is embedded in there.
Yeah, so it's still super general though, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it, unlike the healthcare guy, is it specific to, integrated systems within, digital health, whatever, like, I feel like, why would I use you guys over when I could go to dedicated shops, So maybe you're emphasizing what you worked on for 10 years, like, you're the expert, badass guy in this specific field, maybe emphasize that, or just a suggestion.
Yeah, thank you for your recommendation. I mean, we can take a look at what you need, and then we'll let you know if we're able to. And we'll be honest with you. We're not trying to get rich with this. Basically, our business model or market is trying to find a partner with you. If you believe in us and we believe in you, try to make a partnership to go and develop together for the future. And we know, like Danny indicated, inventors do not have the money to do like a product development all the way. They're looking for money, and we accept that, and we're willing to work with you. So if you have a need, we can talk about it offline, and we can sort of tell you and be honest with you. Yeah, we can help you.
Sure. So going off what you just said, maybe that's your big point is you were very early on, your like very initial concept, right? That
Correct.
Really,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the proof of concept. The first prototype that you can take to an investor and show it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Josh. I love that feedback there. Is if you're trying to get people to come to you, you have to tell the people exactly what kind of person you want to work with and exactly what you're going to do for them. I do X for Y, right? That's going to be a great way. If you're very general, we might do computer software, we might do 3D printing, but if you could tell them, if you're an inventor, you said we're inventors, eager to work with inventors. If you could say, we're going to help you build that first prototype so you can take it to market, so you can get it licensed, so you can get royalties. Like if you could paint that picture for that inventor, you're going to capture 1 or 2 inventors in this audience, and now you're going to have customers, right? If you being vague, you're gonna miss people because they're gonna miss you. If you guys are experts in that area, be very clear about these are the kind of people that we work with and what we will do for them. So that's first feedback. Second is you said that you guys are going to look to invest in a 3D printer in one of those router machines.
Yeah.
If you are ever going to seek funding from an investor for a strategic partnership, you mentioned we're not trying to get rich off that. Take that out of your vocabulary. If you're trying to attract investors, like they want to know that they're going to get a return and that you guys are going to make a lot of money so you can help more people, right? We're not going to get rich out of your vocabulary. Okay?
Thank you for your feedback.
The riches are in the niches.
Just a quick question. I was curious, the naming Echo, I instantly thought of Amazon. Have you thought of that at all in terms of if that's a problem, or just curious because when I see Echo, I think of Amazon Echo, that's their main product.
Okay. Well, yeah, in the beginning we wanted to call it Echo, and yeah, we looked at different places that are using the same name, so that's why we put EchoIntelligent Solutions. Yeah.
Okay, cool, thanks.
Hey, quick question on, I guess, pricing, and I kind of caught the partial of the first beginning piece, but you'd mentioned, I heard of, hey, you can go pay $250 an hour, $200 an hour to maybe go do what you guys are doing, but how are you guys kind of pricing? Is it a turnkey approach? Is it a retainer? Is it based off of future revenue? I may have missed that, so I apologize, but that's the question. And how is it differentiated from that $200 per hour statement you said earlier?
Thank you. We're flexible, like Danny said. We are more like in the $50, $100 range per hour. What we usually do is a time and materials contracts. Basically, we try to estimate the number of hours it will take. Let's say 40 hours. If we take less than that, like let's say 20, the customer is only responsible for those 20. Nothing else, nothing more.
All right, next question.
Hi, Bruce McElroy. Just wanted to echo what Josh was saying. I think it's really good suggestions on that. On a personal note, whenever you guys are talking about this, do you do any software, hardware integration, IoT stuff as far as C++, as far as Java, as far as any of the software that's going between all of this stuff?
Yes, for example, the controller that Danny showed, it was, well, I did it with a Raspberry Pi, using Python.
Yeah, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and all the rest of it. Okay. You guys do have experience with it?
Yes, we can do C++, let's say Visual Basic, those type of programming languages.
All right, next question. Time for a couple more. All right, last chance. All right, we'll ask the question we always ask, beginning or end, is what can we as a community do for you?
I think just help us spread the word that we are here to help inventors. That I'm gonna say it again. I mean, we're not here for the money. We're here to. We're a social conscious type of company, and we understand the suffering that the inventors sometimes have to deal with. They have an idea and they don't know how to get it out. They don't know where to turn to for help. So if you can spread the word, we are here to talk to you. We're always open for feedback, and I think that's it.
Well, thank you all for having me. I'm Eric Cooper. I'm the founder and CEO of DustUp. So I need to hold this very close to my mouth. So what would you guys think if I told you that I could help cattle producers or livestock producers manage and market their herds very efficiently and cheaply? would you be interested to know if I could help, say, pastoralists in Africa do the same? And for you beef eaters out there, and I don't mean gin drinkers, what if I could provide traceability information when you went to the grocery store? Let's talk about DustUp. And that's bad because I messed up my slide right there. So DustUp, what we are is a ag-tech SaaS fintech platform that is going to change the supply chain of how protein products get to the market. So we've created an iOS-based app right now that allows producers to load up all of their herd to the platform, and it democratizes the whole process for the buyers. So what's the problem that we have right now? So the current livestock marketing model is completely broken. It's a very labor-intensive sales process. There's very limited asset level data for the producer, for the buyers out there. There are traceability and animal health concerns. Animals get sick as they progress through the value chain, and it's expensive. So what we're going to do, and what we have done, is we're redefining protein and livestock marketing. We've created a user interface that's going to be very easy to use, provide big data for the buyers and sellers, and allow tracking from farm to table, and we're going to do it really cheaply. So where we are right now is at phase one, we're finishing up right now, creating the marketplace, payment gateway, logistics API, and asset level data. And what we're able to provide is an end-to-end solution. Phase two is what we have our patent pending process on, what our patent pending on right now. We're gonna, with this little guy right here, with this camera on your iOS or Android device, we'll be able to estimate the weights of animals, provide livestock facial recognition as redundancy to ear tags and tracking. Only 50% of animals in the U.S. have a tag, and about 1% have an RFID tag. We're going to provide UCC curation services. So what that means is buyers will know if the animals that they're purchasing have a lien against them, because just about every animal out there is purchased with a bank loan. And we're going to provide a geofencing module for the ranchers. Phase three, once we kind of complete phase two, it's a natural progression because the software is developed, excuse me, in such a way to scale from the U.S. to other geographies. And we can also go to other ruminant type livestock animals. So as a quick overview of what the product is without jumping into it, basically, like I mentioned, the producer uploads his whole herd, and he can upload very, very granular data on the platform, and he can set the cadence of the sale. So what I mean by that is he can set how the price starts, how it goes up, where it ends, what he's looking to get. The buyer can place an order based on all those attributes, and let's say that the order is filled, then the payment is cleared through the platform, and then transportation is arranged on the platform as well. So if it's one animal or load lot, meaning you've probably seen those big trucks that smell horrible on the way you're going to Abilene or something like that, we can do that too. And so that is kind of what it looks now. So imagine that on your iPhone and your Android. So revenue potential for DustUp is just the U.S. alone is $1.2 billion. The top 5 cattle states could produce about almost $450 million. You take that and you scale it up to internationally, where there are 1.5 billion head of cattle. I mean, the numbers prove themselves. Our business model is very simple at the moment. As we develop those other modules that have the patent pending on them, we might cost those out, but how I have it modeled right now is it's a simple sales-based commission. Producers now are used to paying anywhere from 3 to 4% here in Texas, or 5 to 8%. I was in California last week, or 10% or 8% in Georgia or Florida, and they're getting fleeced. So we're going to charge them not much, and we're going to effectively allow them to manage their whole ranch on the platform. In my mind, there are 2 types of customers. You know, as y'all probably can realize the cattle market is pretty, they're stodgy and conservative, but I think there are two types of customers. They're early adopters and they're mainline customers. Early adopters, the organic, the grass-fed, the purebred producers. And I think they're going to jump right on the platform because they're interested in managing things differently, and of course millennials. Mainline producers are the huge ranches that you know. And so I think they'll get on once the hypothesis is proved up. Competitors, there's been no innovation in this space in 30 years. The last thing was a video auction by Superior Livestock. So we're basically taking this old antiquated model and putting it on an app. And so that's me. I'm a finance geek, technically not technical, although I am an ag goober. So I've done all those ag transactions, anywhere from protein to row crops and oil seeds, so I kind of know the whole market. If y'all have any questions, let's talk about them. And so I am currently fundraising. If you want to talk about that too, we can do that. So after.
Start off this time with the question, what can we just, as a community, do for you?
Well, I'm currently looking for beta testers, so I'm actively doing that, and I have a call this afternoon with some, so if you guys know some interesting cattle ranches, producers or whatever, that would be great. I'm even talking to a large producer in Idaho that runs 45,000 head of sheep, so like I said, the platform is not predicated upon just cattle. I just see the cattle market as kind of like the one that we can scale the most because it's so broken, the whole value chain's broken.
You're based here in Dallas?
Yep.
Hi, so you mentioned an iPhone app and maybe an Android app, right? But it seems to me, I mean, I don't know anything about running a ranch, but it seems to me like if you're like entering all of that data, if some people might want to do it on a computer. Have you thought at all about like a website?
Oh yeah, well the whole platform is run with a web services backend, so they can input the data if they want to. That's kind of that, but they can also upload a spreadsheet to it and it parses it out. We're also writing machine learning to where if they use say CattleMax software, that would parse out the data and put it on the platform and allow the buyers to look at all that data. So, but there is a web services backend.
Hey, I think you have a really cool idea and presentation. I have one suggestion, which is for people like myself who are just not at all familiar with the current way cattle get to market.
Right.
I think it would be really helpful if you actually just at the very front end describe that process and all the pain points.
Okay.
You got to put the cattle in the truck and take them to that auction, and the auction's like crowded, and they're going to charge you 8%. And, you know, just list all the pain points, and then your solution to that is going to just crystallize.
It's a great suggestion.
It's kind of there, but it's a little digging for the people like me who don't know anything about the business.
Okay.
Hello, Eric. Awesome concept. Give me an idea of like the investment per cow or per unit or something like that. Give me an idea of that, and then what the potential ROI or cost savings is like per unit.
Meaning how much they pay currently right now, how much we're going to save them?
Yeah. So if I had 1,000 cattle, right? What would it cost me per one that I put on your platform? And then what could I expect to get as a return?
Let's say an animal costs $1,000, so
Okay.
1.5% is $15, right?
Yeah.
So if they're in Florida, they might pay $80 or $100 to sell that animal right now. If it's at a sale barn / auction barn or broker or whatnot. So, any ag business is going to run with margins that are very small. So if you're selling 50, 100, 1,000 animals at a time, the business case makes itself.
Got it. So using that example, 1,000 cattle, right? You charge $15 per cattle. That's whatever. And your competitors are charging 60 to 80. So it's immediately showing like why I should go with you rather than that. It just shows a very clear differentiation.
Right.
Awesome. Next thing, if you're going for fundraising, you said you're currently looking for fundraisers in beta. You had a management team on there. You are your management team. You probably want to, well, 100% you want to go out and find some strategic advisors that are in the cattle industry, that sell a lot, that maybe own auctions or something like that. Put their pictures. That's risk mitigation.
Right.
And it helps attract capital. So you want their pictures. You want to use their name. Give them 1% or something like that. But that'll help attract capital and de-risk the investment. So that'll help you open doors too.
Working on it.
Next question.
Hey, thanks. Interesting concept, I agree. I don't know much about it. So is there anything, I'm trying to understand the model as well, but is there any blocks in execution of getting into markets? So I don't know if there's, I know the ranchers would buy it, but in terms of, are they selling with, do they have to go through the same old channels, or are you creating a totally new channel? Or if there's any blocks in the execution of, hey, this partner could not use it at all. It's like, hey, we don't want to use that. We're being cut out, so screw you. But so I just don't know where that is. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. So the purpose of DustUp, without using a coin phrase, we're disrupting the whole market. So we're basically becoming an overlay, but using some of the existing channels, but inserting ourselves along the value chain. So, just to get y'all up to speed, how it works is you have different parts of the value chain: cow-calf, backgrounding, stocker, feedlot. I'm being overly simplistic, and then they go to the packing house. So we're going to be there every step of the way. So once an animal is sold, the cow-calf, and as it progresses along the value chain, there's traceability. So we're just becoming the overlay. How it works now, it's kind of, there are different silos in each section, so and the constituents don't work together. We'll be able to work with all the constituents.
So based on what I'm understanding, it's kind of like you're helping grease the wheel for the whole system, and everybody benefits in a way.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
There, yeah, I love the idea too. It's really interesting, but granted, I don't know anything about it, like cattle market. Just curious, with like chicken, like Tyson is really providing chickens for the ranchers. Or is there anything such with cattle? And if so, is there any way you could maybe target this to, or even if you go after chickens, like to Tyson specifically, or to whoever who does this in the cattle market?
So the cool thing about the cattle market is that it's completely fractured, and it's probably the last bastion of agriculture where it's independent producers. So if you compare the cattle market to swine and poultry, those are basically vertically integrated. So you mentioned Tyson. Tyson packs they're the meat packer. They own the whole value chain. Now their farmers produce it, but they tell the farmers. They give them birds, they give them eggs, they provide the feed. Same thing with swine. Smithfield does the same thing. So, they own the whole value chain. And that's why the cattle market, we can insert ourselves here because it's very independent and everyone is kind of acting, non-collusive.
So in the current process, is it like an auction market that's taking place? And is there an argument that the auctioneers would make that they extract like some extra pricing that compensates for this 6 or 8%? Versus like you're buying it off your phone and maybe you're just not quite sure how much it weighs or something, and so you're just not as sure.
Their argument's going to be is they act. There are two reasons for them. One, they've been around forever, so because they've been around forever, the system trusts them, and they also act as an aggregator. I don't think that you need an aggregator anymore because with technology you can sell aggregate on whatever platform you're using. In this case, it's DustUp.
So basically, somebody could sell their herd of cattle without loading it on a truck and taking it to the auction. They would just load it all on the app, just like Nextdoor or anything else. They're just selling their herd on there, and they each have a profile, the weight, and everything. That's how it works.
Correct. And they'll also have a ranch profile. The buyers will rate the seller. So if the guy sells his calf crop the next year and he has a poor rating, then the buyers aren't going to want to deal with him on the platform because the guy has no credibility. But if he has a high rating, he has a lot of credibility. Kind of like Airbnb. We use Airbnb as a use case to kind of figure out how to scale. And if you guys are familiar with them, they had a lot of issues with people renting out rooms and doing pretty raunchy things. And so we want to make sure that the platform becomes a venue of trust for the cattle producers and cattle buyers.
And then, with the ranching industry being so established and everything, do you see them being slow to adoption with this, or do you think it's something that if you provide the value and the ROI that they'll adopt it?
My customer acquisition slide, I think there are two types of customers. I think there are going to be ones that are going to, the early adopters, the millennials, the grass-fed, but they have their way to get their products to market easily. The purebred producers, there's those, and then I think once those guys scale on there, then the bigger operations will come on because they'll have data, and then the more people that get on the platform, then there actually becomes a sense of price discovery. So, which they're not getting right now.
Thank you. Really enjoyed it. 2 questions. What is your goal in terms of fundraising? And then are you going to use that for like software engineers, infrastructure? Yeah, that's it.
I can talk about that offline. I think I might conflict myself off the SEC if I talk about it right now. So, yeah, I've been told that not called for, but we can talk about it.
I got a question. Have you looked at, maybe somebody asked this a minute ago and I walked away, but have you looked at finding some buyers and starting backwards, looking at a small geographic area to kind of implement on a test case, not really selling the product, more like kind of giving it away? Because I feel like if you start with some big buyers, then it'll be easier to go to like, smaller ranchers and these guys, the people that work at small farms don't have like dedicated contracts and say, hey, I've already got these people that are pretty large scale buyers looking for product. Once you get on here, try it out, and if you get like a small scale, I guess product line going, or logistics line going, you can show from start to completion some success. Not only that, it'll probably be easier to grow it from that point. Have you done something like that? Thought about it?
Yeah, we're excuse me, my allergies are killing me. We're in the process of trying to get LIs with some of the larger buyers and also feedlots and everything, because those are they're the kind of the end block before the animals go to the packing houses. So yeah, we're trying to do that.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one is one of your main competitors superior?
Yes.
Okay, and my second question is, what did the ranchers/farmers say when you went out and did market research on this? What was their reaction and feedback?
They think it's a really cool idea. The reaction I'm getting is, we're interested in adopting it, but we've been doing this the same way. Our daddies did it, our granddaddies did it this way, and so and most farmers and ranchers in the United States, or really anywhere in the developed world, are older than 58 years old. So they will see the benefit of that, I think, that over time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next question.
Hey there. I think you have a good model here. I would make a couple of suggestions. One is that you should charge a flat buy fee and sell fee on each side of the transaction. And the other thing is you could probably get additional revenue by charging inspection fees. If you have a third party to partner with and they would go out and inspect the cattle, make sure they're fairly represented, that would give buyers some security of what they're buying.
Good point. There are third-party validation companies out there that will probably partner with.
have time for a couple more.
You mentioned at the beginning, when we're at the grocery store buying meat or whatever, we don't know where it comes from. Is your goal also to continue continue this on to the supermarket with the end product then?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know where it comes from right now. It might say no on Ryan beef, you don't know what no on Ryan beef. If it says 44 farms, it probably comes from 44 farms. But Central Market or they'll have a contract with them to supply X amount, but typically you're not going to know where it comes from. Because 4 meat packers pack almost 100% of the beef in the United States, about 94%.
Hello again. What is your cost per cattle?
My cost per cattle?
Yeah, for maybe the tag or for the whatever. What is your hard cost?
My hard costs, I mean, it's going to be hosting services, platform development, everything like that. So, it's not much. That's why I'm able to charge such a small amount.
Got it. So with no cost, you could go in and do 1,000 cattle, or for very minimal cost, 1,000, 10,000 cattle. So based on someone else's feedback back there, what you might want to do is offer like a free kind of a service where you can upload everybody's thing as getting them on the platform, and then as they sell and such like that, that's where your fees could start coming on. So that kind of freemium model to go in, but you can capture probably a lot of those early adopters. And say the first 100 farms or the ranches are going to get this as a free service, and especially if you're doing 1,000, 2,000 cattle or something, that's where the ROI, the cash flow will really start to pour in.
Right.
This is very interesting. This is very good. Good job.
Thank you.
More?
Good.
Yeah, like just bouncing off what other people have said, it would be really good if you had some sort of like free trial or like free levels that you can like upgrade to a premium. Because you mentioned like one of your big hurdles is that these people have been doing this for so long this one way. So if you could show them like, hey, my way is better, that for free, then they're gonna want to subscribe most likely.
Maybe a way to use the old system while trying the new system. So
Right.
you don't have to replace it right off.
We anticipate, especially if it's a really big producer, we're anticipating, they'll say, okay, we'll do 10% of our animals, we'll sell 10% and see how it goes. So they might do that. And, if they're, a lot of these cattle producers, especially if they're smaller, and I don't mean to sound pedantic, but they really have their data on a big cheap tablet. So we will outsource that for them for free to get people loaded on the platform. So I've sat on my pickup truck with them, so,
Because they need readers and they need the big margins, I guess, to write it.
Absolutely.
All right, let's give them a hand, all right?
Thanks everybody for attending today.